Hey everybody. Um, After this stream, I will be basically done with my reviews for Canadian films, which played at TIFF 50. So we got the short, we got a documentary, got an experimental film, got oh, a drama, and we've got a crazy horror movie. So a little bit of everything coming from Canada, which is nice. I'm holding back on one because I have an interview attached to it. So I will drop it then. And you're going to get actually the rest of my reviews, except for that one, next week in two separate streams. But more on that later. Probably on Sunday, I'll tell you about that. But the ranking of TIFF 50 will be held off for until that interview gets dropped with the final review. You might notice I don't have my ranking video for TIFF 2024 yet, and it's because I still have two interviews that I haven't dropped yet. I can't, so the movies haven't come out yet. So, and I've been asked to hold off until they do. So you won't get those reviews and the TIFF 2024 ranking until that happens, and you're not going to get the TIFF 2025 ranking until the final film gets reviewed. And I don't know when that's going to be. It could be a long time, but that's okay. That's okay. Everything's fine. All right. So now that the housekeeping's out of the way, let's get to the reviews. Okay, huh? Marriage in Analia is about a parallel dimension which a couple exists in, and it's like a space that no one else can occupy. It's like a couple's dynamic logic blown up on acid. It's a very strange short film, and we get that right away, but it is placed within a real place. It's got emotional sweat, and it isn't just a surrealist hat trick where nothing is anything. It's also the shortest short of TIFF this year. It's like 3.5 minutes with enough strange stuff for you to enjoy, and I'd say it doesn't overstay its brief stay. It was cool to check out. 4 stars. A lot of 4 stars in this stream. So another 4-star review, Aki. Aki is a mundane kind of trip fest. It shows an indigenous community as well as the nature simply existing in Northern Ontario. Everything just sort of is. Perhaps the intention is to embed some empathy by going along for the journey through lived or maybe slightly shared experience. We get a little snapshot into life, but we also may not be from the community. What is known, and what is not known can be gazed upon here. The experience is a little psychedelic, especially with the nature shots, but it's not an overwhelmingly positive or negative experience. I don't mind watching something like this, especially before or after watching something more intense. It doesn't really affect me too deeply, but one can still admire some craftsmanship on display. Indigenous films here take on different shapes and forms, which is how it should be. This is somewhat of an experimental documentary that comes and goes, but is nice enough. Some people in the audience seemed to hate it, and I'm not surprised. It doesn't try to be a slick package, or to be for everyone. It's an acquired taste, and if you like what it's going for, it basically delivers. Okay, Levers. I debated giving this 4.5, but I'm sticking with 4. Okay. I remember seeing Arain Vermette's film Saint Anne back in 2021 on the TIFF streaming service. Back in that year, there were a total of 10 movies you could see theatrically and narrow windows to stream stuff. So for whatever reason, I put on Saint Anne and was sort of blown away by how creative it was. It felt like not much money was put into it, but created a very dense effect of being in between reality points. It was real and mundane, but drifting into trippy somehow. It's been a while since I've seen it, and like her new film, Lovers, the film kind of comes and goes. It might have been for the best. It might have been for the best to write the review immediately after the screening, but then again, it might not have made a difference since the experience is fleeting. But it is quite cool. It's Trip Fest once again. Lots of dark nights and a community being mundane and weird in Manitoba. Rain had a very interesting introduction to the film. She talked about her son rock quote in the beginning of the film and believed that only artists can change the world. She also complained about TIFF and the AI design hellscape we may find ourselves in, or perhaps already are in. The movie was probably just as good as Saint Anne, or a notch beneath it, but it was a nice thing to watch at night. Very memorable experience, still. And 4 stars is a good rating. All right. But 4.5 stars, that's like really good. Okay, the class of Halfin presents a world that is morally murky and full of sticky situations. It's a compelling grown-up tale that ends of the ends one will go to try to make things work and or being in a diluted state of excess. Capitalism is like a drug. There are so many cool and interesting things to own or to do, and it's simply impossible to have it all and to do it all. Sometimes we sort of drive ourselves nuts, but maybe that's the point. We have this guy who starts getting reckless with stocks and putting things up to invest that he should not be doing. Then he finds himself making a compromised decision. It does partially come from the instinct to put food on the table for his family, but it also comes from the desire to have more and be more, without the understanding that they are separate things. His wife tries to remind him of that, but with no luck. Where this movie goes, though, surprised me to an extent, though. People will convince themselves that nearly anything that they do is justified. The movie is set in Quebec, but almost felt like a European movie to me. It's just a wonderful time and a high-class auteur kind of film that is almost like a revelation upon discovery. It is like a revelation upon discovery. It's a revelatory film. Very, very cool. And my clips with the director, Matthew Denis, drop tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. So look forward to that. Dusty and Madeline's film Violation blew me back in 2020. It was so grisly and authentic. The directors told me it came from a place of lived experience. It depicts very extreme actions and anxiety surrounding romance. Honey Bunch has that same connective tissue, but it's more of a quote-unquote movie, and old school non-PC insane asylum sort of thing, like Sam Fuller's Shock Corridor or even One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The woman in the relationship has been in an accident and her nerves are shot. She goes to this mysterious lodge to try and get better, and things get funky. We see that personalities in the relationship that were compartmentalized manifest in strange ways. It takes a leap to clue in on what is happening, but it all makes sense. Violation should not be taught in terms of coarse violence, but it's cool to see the same personal material living on in a surface level, very different film. Things are stylistically different. It's more over the top, but less of a direct bludgeoning, undercutting things in an intriguing way. I prefer Violation, but admire the effort here. Maybe there'll be a happy medium for the next one, blending the two established styles. 4 stars. Honey Bunch. There you go. Honey Bunch, 4 stars. Casa Heaven, 4.5 stars. Lovers, 4 stars. Aki, 4 stars. Marriage and Alina, or whatever, 4 stars. Sorry, Hedda. Not whatever. It was cool. Anyways, those are some thoughts on some of the best Canadian films you can see this year. I'm gonna say for sure. Anyways, that's the stream. It's over. Peace out, y'all.